Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest and exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Motorhead Garage is presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now, this 1985 Chevy pickup truck came to us as a rust bucket. It had a long bed on it. It was a farm truck. We wanted to make it into a cool cruiser, and we wanted to start by shortening the bed. It's much cooler this way. And how did we get from that to this, Dave?
Well, we've got a kit that we made for our 63 to 72 trucks. It was so popular that we made a kit for our square bodies, your 73 to 87 trucks. Really nice, simple thing. Don't have to be an engineer, don't have to do any measuring, anything. Our template just makes it so much easier for you that anybody can do it at home.
Brothers Trucks is so concerned with making the process simple and taking the guesswork out of it. So what are some of the things with this short bed kit that Brothers took into consideration?
Well, we got hours and hours and hours into the R&D into this, and we just had update of our prototypes. And now we've got it to where it's just a paint by number system. You just go ahead and clean up your frame some, you bolt it right on, you go ahead and drill out the holes, you cut it where it shows you to. There's even an extra template that'll show you how to cut off the last bit of the frame on the back, where to drill the holes for the bumper, and where to drill the holes for the bed to sit on there. So it's really, really nice and simple. We went through a lot of trouble to figure out every little nuance that we could. Even comes with brake lines, comes with a solution for when your emergency brake cable is going to be shorter. So really well thought out kit.
It is indeed. And getting the old bed off wasn't that hard. This thing was rusty enough anyway, we could probably pull it off, but 8 bolts, we pulled it right off. And then what's the first thing you do once the frame is actually exposed?
Well, all you got to do is just take your template, just put it right on in there. It's going to line up to holes that are already in the frame, so there's no guesswork of where it's going. Once it's bolted on, you're going to drill some holes, maybe put a couple of bolts on there to just make it more secure. You can drill your holes in your top, your bottom. Then you'll go ahead and cut where the defined lines are. Okay, so one of the things I'm gonna do is I'll cut the bottom first, and I'm gonna be going in the groove like this, several passes. Then you can go ahead and get your C channel that goes on the inside of the frame to reinforce it. You'll bolt that up, and then you just slide your frame together.
There we go.
All right. You bolt it up the rest of the way. And as you're doing the kit and it's getting cut up, it kind of transitions into another template that we're going to use on the rear so that we cut off the correct amount without having to measure again. It shows you exactly where to drill the hole for the bed, exactly for your bumpers, so you don't have to figure out nothing.
And once the frame's bolted together, what's next?
Well, you're going to want to weld it up. And so it's strong enough to where you can just drive it down the road and have your buddy do it if you don't have a welder, or take care of it at home. After you're done with that, man, you're ready to put your bed on. So we sell complete bed kits, and the quality of the metal is just outstanding. You can see that we've got the original tub and we have the original front bed panel. Those bolted right in, didn't have to elongate any holes or anything.
I think we tripled the value of the truck just by putting the bed on here.
Yeah, short beds are worth a lot more. Everybody's looking for a short bed, nobody's looking for a long bed.
If you've got a Chevy or GMC truck from 1947 to 1987, brotherstrucks.com is your one-stop shop for everything you need. Check them out. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, so don't go away.
There's a rainbow of paint colors available for cars. But in the U.S., 73% of all cars are painted one of 4 colors. Can you name them? Gray is the 4th most popular. Silver is 3rd at 16%. 19% of all cars sold in the U.S. are black. And white tops the list at the most popular paint color in the country. Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radios since 1977. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. And by NH Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. We are lucky to have two amazing Jeep builds in the studio. They're from Tactical Off-Road, and CJ, you're the mastermind behind these. We've been talking since you got here, and the thing that really jumps out at me is your passion. How much does that drive you in how you build these and how you deliver them to the customer?
For me, it's really the majority of it. I have such a passion for this. It's kind of taken over my life for the past decade. When a customer comes to me, I really want to find out what it is that he's trying to accomplish, and also try and show him the passion that I have, and also kind of build from there. What is it that you're going to do? Mostly when they come to me, it's mostly because they've seen me on some type of social media, or they've seen me in the video someplace, and they're looking to me for a lot of advice, and or just they really want to sit down and pick my brain of, hey, this is what I want to do, and this is what I want to accomplish, and that's kind of where we start.
What's it like when they come to you with an idea and your mission is to set off to build the Jeep of their dreams? What's that like for you?
That's the fun part for me. I really enjoy taking what they've given me and set out to build something that I know when we're finished with it, it's going to, when they come in and they have that smile on their face and they're, giddy like a kid, that's where I get the joy from. Not only because I've taken their design and what they've pictured in their mind, and also built it and showed it out exactly like they came to me for.
We'll talk about these specific builds, but as far as equipment you use on the Jeeps, do you stick with specific brands, or what do you offer folks in the line of performance?
As far as brands, we try to use the quality brands in the industry, but we don't really stick to a specific brand. I really want to make it for whatever the user is asking for. So I do try to steer them to use quality products, but we don't have a specific brand that we will always be a cookie cutter, if you will. I really like to build it for what they're asking, and sometimes whenever that, in that ask, it's different brands or it's different builds to create that.
So let's talk about the Jeeps here that you brought in particular. Now here we've got the JT here. This is pretty spectacular under the hood. Tell me what makes it go.
So in this one, we have the 707 Hellcat package in this JT.
That'll do.
That'll do.
How many horsepower are we making?
707.
Nice, very nice. And then it looks the part too. Now tell me about the rack, especially having the back. And you guys fabricate that in-house?
We do. So this is our overland rack. We do this in-house. We've kind of catered to the overland community. So we're building racks and all the extensions for that, all in-house.
Very cool. How versatile is that?
It's very versatile. We can add anything from the sideboards to jacks. We have everything for mounting up to a 42-inch tire. The camper that sits on top, we have everything that will, this will be outfit for the next event we go to. We want to show this basically for the rack.
So for the overland crew, this is the vehicle they're looking at?
That it is. To me, whenever I set out to build something for myself for overland, this is exactly what I wanted to do.
Perfect. Let's talk about the white one here. This is your daily driver now.
This is my daily driver, yes.
Yeah, so and clearly you can take this thing and drive down Main Street and hang a left and head off into the hills.
That you can, yeah.
Yeah, you got it. So tell me about this build and what you have in mind when you set out to do this.
So whenever I set out to build this one specifically for myself, I wanted something that was not only going to perform off-road, but I wanted something that was classy for me to drive, something I was proud of, but at the same time something that I can drive, just going to the gym or back and forth to work or any place I wanted to go. I've driven this one across the country. I drive it on a daily back and forth to work, any place, and it's very, very comfortable, but at the same time I can go straight from the freeway to rocks instantly and have performance on both sides.
These are fantastic builds, and this is kind of what you specialize in from the ground up. What if I already have a Jeep that I dig and I want you guys to take me to the next level?
We do everything. We do everything from full builds from the ground up all the way to accessorize. So anything that you possibly need, whatever design you have, we can facilitate that.
If folks are experienced Jeepers or they want to get into it, how do they get a hold of you?
Tactical Off-Road on all social media, or they can contact the shop directly, and any of my staff can help out.
Excellent. Well, these guys are the experts. They can give you the Jeep of your dreams. Check them out online. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings and more cool products for your vehicle. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. We're talking about vent windows. And here's one, Danny. This is from a Ford van from, we were looking at 69 to 74. Vent windows were super popular back in the old days, especially before the advent of air conditioning or the popularity of air conditioning. They were a great idea, but they always whistled. Yep. They always leaked. That's not really a problem anymore. If you're starting to restore your vehicle, Steel Rubber has a solution. What do you have for us?
So what we have here is the replacement for the 69 to 74 Econoline vans. We have vent windows for all kinds of cars. We have over 300 vent windows. But this one in particular is special. You know, vans are getting more popular, and there was a lot of complaints about this particular one. It's a work van. I don't know if they really cared if it's sealed or not from the beginning, but we were actually able to make this part better than the original.
I was going to mention that Steel Rubber always emulates the original part. You take the original profile. If I've got something from 100 years ago, I've seen your whole library of profiles and all the different seals you make, and you emulate the original, but where you can, you improve the design because materials are newer, technologies are newer, and trial and error through the years, people are discovering new ways to make these things work. So how did Steel Rubber change the original design to a new design?
So really 99% of this is all original. This is the original seal that came out, and this is the one that we've made. And really the only difference is down here in the bottom corner, you can see that this piece is real thin and this piece has a thicker edge on it. And what that does is it fills out the corner down on the frame. We made it just like the original, and just like the original, there was a gap there. So we were able to just fill that in with some more rubber, simple enough, but it really changed how this seal went together.
Well, I think vans from those days, back then you were using it as a work truck. Now right. Folks are restoring them, and it's for nostalgia's sake. Right. You've spent so much time, effort, and money on a vehicle, you want to make sure it doesn't leak now. Yeah, and the comfort of the ride is so much more important than it was. So, exactly. So wind noise, you know, leaking, you know, air conditioning and heat, all that stuff, you want it to seal right. So that's what we've got here. And a lot of times vent windows are a little intimidating to work on. You know, you have to pull them out of the door. You got to take the door panel off, pull it out of the door. I see a rivet. Yep, the rivet there. So, you know, there's a lot of barriers that you could run into. But really, once you get down to it, it's pretty simple. Essentially, to get it out of the door, almost all of them are the same. You got to take the door panel off, and then there's a bolt or two holding the frame in. Once you take that out, the vent window pretty much just pulls out. Depending on the type of vehicle, might need to do some wiggling, but it's really, mostly that's it. And then to get the window out itself, almost all of them have this little pivot section down here with a spring, and that's what keeps the tension on it, so it doesn't swing wide open, but it's already loose. You'll want to take off this assembly, and from experience, you'll want to keep it in order of the way it came off. Take a photo, that's another good idea? Yep, that's definitely a good idea because there's several washers in here. It does matter what order they go on. So we'll take that off. And then this rivet, as you can see, sometimes you have to drill out the rivet. In this case, and in most late models, you've got some Phillips head screws here. So you can take these off. So you're not even messing with the rivet at all. Right. Yeah, you see those and that automatically tells me stop. Don't work on this project. Get a pro. Then you can rotate it out. And it's basically always a 90-degree turn, and then it comes out of the bottom here. So just pull straight out, and it's really that simple. And then the rubber is almost always held in by this track here,
So it's just pressure fitted. So it just pulls out. Like the original, there's metal on the division post. The division post is the vertical piece that separates the vent window from the door glass. So these tabs come back through this frame. So they go through the frame.
And those are all the factory holes?
Yep, factory holes. They line up just with our part right out of the box. The tabs go through, you bend them over, and then it's the perfect opportunity to replace your window channel as well.
Which brings us to another point. Steel Rubber's not just making vent windows for vans, you have a whole lot of other products as well.
Yeah, so everything for the windows, you know, vent window, door glass. In the Econolines, a lot of them have pop-out windows all throughout the vehicle, some of them as much as 10 per van. We've got all the pop-out seals. We've got parts for Dodge vans, Chevy vans, and even recently Astro vans. The rear doors on those, GM doesn't make them anymore. A lot of people need it, so we listened to our customers. They wanted it, and we made it for them.
Steel Rubber's making stuff for vans, for trucks, classic autos. A lot of folks doing this to their hot rods when they're restoring it, adding Steel Rubber products to it. They even do RVs and boats. You can check out their full line of products at steelrubber.com. They'll even make a catalog just for you for your specific make and model of car. Go check them out online. We'll be back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coating, so don't touch that dial. Do people still have dials?
No.
No dials. Don't touch anything.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by Steel Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. The Last Coat, cleans, shines, and protects. And by Tribotex, make your engine last longer. Time now for the lowdown with Magic Creeper.
Hey there, Motorheads. We have told you about the Magic Creeper, and we've extolled its virtues throughout the season. If you're a professional racer, I'm going to get to you. Of course, you know, at home, there's tons of uses for the Magic Creeper. You can get under the sink in a jiff and do it a lot easier than you would otherwise. You can use it as a kneeling pad if you're gardening, if you're doing hardwood floors. And of course, if you work on your car in your garage, you can use the Magic Creeper to get underneath. And if you're working out in the yard, it's especially handy because the Magic Creeper moves over rocks and roots and things a regular creeper would not do. If you are a professional mechanic, the Magic Creeper comes in handy because you can triage cars and other vehicles out in the parking lot to see what the problem is, and if you want to bring it in right away. If you're out of lift space too, you can use the Magic Creeper, and it certainly comes in handy and helps out your back, makes it easier for you to get under the vehicle. If you are a racer, you're going to love the Magic Creeper. Take it with you to the pits because invariably, if you're racing a bracket car like this, you know that the pros are pitted somewhere in the nice paved area. They're living in the lap of luxury, and you are relegated to a grass area probably. If you're lucky enough to have a snap-together floor, that's great, but you can still use the creeper to get under your race car. And in most cases, you know, you'll be in the grass someplace. It can rain, so you might be in kind of a marshy area. You can use the Magic Creeper because it gets wet and it gets muddy, and you will not. Plus, you get the extra ground clearance you wouldn't get from a regular creeper, but you know, who cares? A regular creeper wouldn't work there anyway. If you are in the grass, of course, if you're in Seattle or someplace like that, you know you're in the forest and there's lots of tree roots everywhere. Sometimes you're even in the gravel. Well, that's nice because it's not muddy, but it's still hard to maneuver a regular creeper around, so the Magic Creeper is for you. So whether you are a homeowner, an amateur mechanic, a pro mechanic, or a racer, check out the Magic Creeper. You are going to want the authentic Magic Creeper. You can check it out at magiccreeper.com. You can go to Tribotex.com and see all their scientific research and animations. It'll show you how Tribotex works. But if you're still skeptical, just crack open the engine here, Pasha, and you can see on these main bearings that Tribotex is working. How can you tell?
If you look at the engine, very often you cannot tell which oil was used before. But when you use Tribotex, you see film, ceramic coating, deposited as the gray layer of a coating that coats worn out parts. On the rod and main bearings, it's very broad area and intense one. But on the cap bearings that does not have inserts and just plain aluminum, they designed to worn out during the lifetime. So once they start to wear out, valve trains start to make noise, and there is no way to replace it or upgrade it. If you rebuild the engine, you still put those old cap bearings in. So the Tribotex put the layer here where material is worn and replaces it. And another question people ask us, what does it do in the piston cylinder group? Does it coat cross-hatching or something? We did specific tests just to make sure that we not violate manufacturer specification on cross-hatching. And we applied coating to cylinder and ring group and analyzed the surface. So cross-hatching still remains there and remains intact. And the layer goes on top of the asperities and form this thermal barrier that retains heat inside of the cylinder to push your pistons with more force. That's why it is unique application and unique technology that does not much with your oil, but become part of your engine. So after Tribotex, you can wear our coating, not your engine.
And Tribotex makes your engine run better. It also makes it last longer. It actually repairs the parts of your engine. Check out how it works at tribotex.com. It's closing time here at Motorhead Garage, but we're going to open again next week. We hope you come and join us then. In the meantime, you can check us out on Facebook and see what we're up to. You can also email Jeff at masterstv.com if you have a product you want to see on our show. From our entire crew here at our Borla studio, we will see you next week here on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. So long.